Hey, we alive with Death on a Madness, episode 19. It is just Alyssa, Carly, and I today for now. Chat should be showing up shortly. But we have a scene that we need to do with Maya and Avra, so I figured we'd just go ahead and go live and get to that scene. Let's go ahead and do beliefs and instincts and traits and stuff first before we get started, though. Maya, what are your bits?
My bits. I will do whatever it takes to elevate my son to the place of the prophet king. I will make my position in the kingdom known to the public.
Cool.
My time with my sisters was stolen from me. I will meet Avra and gain her favor. This could all go very poorly today, but we'll see. And the art of theater must be maintained and not forgotten. I will help create a play. Instincts: if someone insults my son, I snap back at them, never back down from a challenge. If I meet a fellow performer, I will give them my assistance. Traits: colorful, religious, intellectual, competitive, thick skin, mark of privilege, bastard, and glib.
Cool. Abra?
I believe my father was ill by someone else's doing. I will get answers. I believe marrying Celadon will give the city hope. I will convince him of this. And I will be corresponding with Celadon while he is away. I will use this as an opportunity to brush up on my penmanship. And then my instincts are, which I still need to change these. I should have changed them before this session, but if I have a coughing fit, then I leave the room. I always have my falconry gloves on hand, and if someone speaks ill of Celadon, I will speak well of him in contrast. And then my traits are your grace, formalist, religious, competitive, careful, pretty talk, mark of privilege, and driven.
Cool. Alrighty, well, we see the last time on the Death on a Madness, and you see, everything that happened. The shot that I think it ends on is like Maya yelling to the clouds, "No, my son!" as the ship,
Not my son!
not my son, as the ship leaves the harbor of Sinia on the way to Kyrides. So Maya, is this like you take a moment to recover, I assume, before you go, or do you go right away?
Yeah, I think I take like maybe a day or two, and I think
Yeah.
I talk to Malekith about it and just, say like, I think I need to tell Avra the truth. I don't think she will listen to me either way. And maybe if I tell her the truth, maybe she will help get her son back somehow. Also, Alpheus is a traitor, and I hate that man. He is never welcome in our home again, and I will make sure that he pays.
So let's start there, I think, actually, because I think Malekith would be like, "Darling, I think you might be jumping to some conclusions here. Alpheus has been a great friend of me, and I've been a great friend of him and his father."
Malekith, I love you more than anything. Alpheus, we have told a total of 2 people. Alpheus and what's his face?
Oh, Gavril?
Gavril.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't Gavril, because when I asked him if it was Alpheus, he lied and said he didn't know him. I know he was lying for a fact.
And how do you know that, Maya?
Malekith, have you ever been able to get away with a lie with me?
Well, that's because I don't have falsehood as a skill. Actually, I'm curious if he does, actually. I don't think he does. No, he doesn't. Yeah, so...
I know it wasn't Gavril. The only other person who would have said something is Alpheus, which makes sense because he was going there in the first place, because you were sending him there. It makes sense. He's secretly working with them.
Dear, I think we need to give him at least a chance to explain himself.
To explain that he got our son kidnapped? Yeah, I can't wait to hear that explanation.
And honestly, I think if you want your husband to like go along with Alpheus is a traitor and needs to be stopped / not allowed back in Sinia, I think there needs to be a persuasion roll or something, right? Otherwise, he's going to be, even if he has to just be like, all right, well, she's a little crazy, I'm just going to talk to Alpheus myself. He'll at least let Alpheus have a chance to explain himself before he like arrests him or whatever. But if you want to like right now be like, listen, he is a traitor. You have to believe me. And if you give him a chance to explain himself, he'll stab you in the back too.
Yeah, he is. He already has. That's why I'm like, why are you so calm?
Yes, but Malekith doesn't know that, and you don't know that. So,
I mean, I do know that.
No, I mean like the king getting killed is the thing that he's already backstabbed with Malekith. Yeah.
Yes. For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like he's already. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay. I think I will do obviously that's persuasion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
and
like, it's in your own best interest to not give him a chance to explain himself, because otherwise he'll get stabbed.
He's going to backstab us. And then I think I'll fork in husband wise.
Yes, of course.
And I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's fine. Honestly, if I fail this roll, I'm not like totally devastated by it.
Yeah.
So,
Ob is 5.
Okay. This might help actually get me the challenging role I need anyways to help upgrade. Base on 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was only a difficult actually. You have 2 6s.
Wow, I have 2 6s. I could use 1 fate to reroll 2 6s.
Or 2 fate to reroll 3.
Right. I just don't know that I care about it enough. Like, I mean, if Malekith wants to like give him a chance, I'm not gonna like. I mean, and I'm sure Malekith will just like, it's not going to be the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's not one of my beliefs just yet, but I will. Yep. I will.
Cool.
I will destroy you, Alpheus. Yeah, I don't think I care about it enough to like spend any fate on it necessarily.
Yeah.
So yes, I will. So I'll mark that difficult.
Sounds good. Yeah, noted. Malekith will give Alpheus a chance in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, good to know. At least Alpheus has that going for him at this point. So cool.
That's fine.
Yeah. So if you spend a couple days to recuperate, then you head off to talk with Avra.
Yeah. So yeah, I tell Malekith, and I don't know if he thinks it's a good idea or not, but I'm like, I don't know that we have I have another choice at this point.
Yeah.
If I want.
And that's pretty much what you had decided before.
Well, and plus, if I want to even get a chance of getting a handle on that book, I don't know how else I'd do it.
Yeah. You can't unless you get in good with Avra. Right. Yeah.
And I've rolled to know that like that's the only way she's going to let me really talk to her. She doesn't care about me. She doesn't care about a common woman, even if I am your wife. Like, she's only going to care about me if she knows the truth.
Cool. Did we say that you did manage to actually set up a meeting with Avra, right?
Yes, I did.
You did. Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, is this at the Falconry Club? Is this at Avra's estate? Where do you think this would be, guys?
I imagine it's probably at the estate.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Somewhere a little more private. Because that's what I asked for. I was like,
yeah, for sure.
We need to talk in private about your dad.
Yeah. So Maya, you're led in by a servant and led to the like waiting room or whatever, and or to the meeting room or whatever it would be. There's a noble fancy word for this. The
diary room?
No, where it's like you welcome someone and you greet someone. There's a word here. The entertaining room? I don't know. Something like that.
The drawing room?
The drawing room. That's, I think, what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 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 So, Avra, what are you up to when Maya shows up? Are you poring over books trying to figure out anything you can on your own about your father?
Probably, yeah.
Like, has Avra officially gone a little bit crazy trying to figure this out?
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, she's almost at the point where she's just like, okay, maybe I just have to accept that I won't understand this, or maybe it was just a, mental illness, that kind of a thing. But
Yeah.
she's like right before that tipping point where she's just really desperate to like find anything.
Yep. I mean, honestly, Avra, you might as well make a roll, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, like if you've
here.
done this, then yeah, it makes sense to at least attempt a difficult roll on something. Well, I don't think Avra has any actual skills for this. What? Let's see. Well, I guess you have doctrine. You have the ones that I think could be stretched to attempt. That's like a skill you actually have would be doctrine, noble wise, and those are probably it.
Yeah, could she possibly be like trying to find? She's just reading a bunch of like theology books, basically that they have in the at the estate. She's trying to find anything at all that would make her think that maybe he was being judged by the gods or something somehow.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's
the thing I'm thinking of here is that so unlike like a Christian context or a monotheistic context, this is like a bit more like there wouldn't be theology proper books just lying around, right? It would be more like myths, legends, scatterings of prophecy that were you're probably looking through a bunch of old scrolls. I don't think anyone has systematized anything with this religion. Right? It's just like scattered things that everyone accepts as being part of the religion, but some of them contradict each other and no one's attempted to try to make them all fit together yet.
Yeah, so she'd be looking at any kind of like myths or legends that would include someone going insane because of some kind of divine thing.
Right, of course, yeah. And there's definitely a chance you'll find something because of what we know this actually is. So let's take a look at those obs, shall we? Doctrine. Wow. Doctrine obs don't actually go very high, at least for the examples that it gives me here. Right. Common popular beliefs is ob 1. Citing relevant passages from common religious texts is ob 2. And naming an obscure saint is ob 3. I'm trying to think if this is on the level of naming an obscure saint, and it probably isn't. Let's say I'll give you ob 4. So if you can find some way to get a fork or an advantage, then there's actually a possibility, or just getting luck and having Artha. It's possible. So depends on what you want to try here, I guess. I'm not entirely sure there are any forks, but
I mean, read with that.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
You are using your reading ability to do this.
Would heraldry help me at all? Like,
make an argument for it.
Recognize,
Make an argument for it.
Like to possibly recognize certain symbols or things that represent certain houses throughout history. Yes. That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. To be the
first time.
I know this like crest in this diagram over here, and so I can be like, I know kind of the history of that family kind of thing.
Yeah, I think this is the first time Avra has ever used that skill for anything. So I wanted to give you a chance to make an argument for it.
Okay, so that's okay. So it's ob 4 with
1 advantage, I think. Yeah. Let's see. You have.
Well, I use read and heraldry.
Oh yeah, sorry,
right?
2. Yeah.
2. Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
Oh no!
Yikes.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Because of what the
You
dice she's
rolled
rolling, right?
ones and twos.
You're rolling D6s, so every single one of them has a chance to just be a failure. Yeah.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, that's probably about as successful as she'd be on her own anyway. So.
Yikes. 0 out of 4. Do you want to spend a fate to... Slight Quills in chat says, beautiful roll. Yes, indeed.
That's a depressing roll to
It's
look at.
very
5
depressing.
dice, 0. Wow.
Well, go ahead and mark a difficult on your doctrine there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Avra's going a little crazy. She's just like,
I think everybody in this campaign is.
I wonder why. I wonder, it's not like the name of the game is Death Unto Madness. Yeah. Yep.
Everything has to do with either death or madness.
Death or
if not
madness.
both.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I feel like most of the time these games, like, it's not even really that we try to make that happen. It's just that we see the connections because we're looking for them. So yeah. Yep. So Avra's just pulling out her hair at this point, like reading through old myths and legends that she hasn't read since she was a kid, and just being like, none of this makes any sense. This is all baloney. What? we based a religion off of this? Yeah.
Having a crisis of faith.
Yeah.
I don't understand any of this.
Yeah. And that's when Maya is let in by a servant. So good luck, Maya.
She's not very apt to seeing anybody right now, but that's okay. I did say it had something to do with her dad, so maybe she's like, let's see what this woman has to say. Probably nothing important, but little does she know. Okay. I mean, obviously, like, is the bird around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much always around, yeah.
So I give a proper... Oh, wait, I guess females don't have to do that, huh?
Yes, I think we said that like, the birds have to acknowledge each other, basically. That's what happens. So you have... I mean, I assume you have your, like, jungle parrot thing that
I guess
you borrowed
so.
from your husband.
My one that's like... Wah, wah, wah. Hello.
Oh, Sam in chat says that was like a 1 in 360 chance for you to get 0 out of 4 on 5 dice.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Wow.
Sad.
That is sad. I'm so sorry, Carly.
Let's hope that did not set the trend for the rest of the session.
Okay. Trying to think, do I just burst in and be like, I'm your sister? Just kidding. Obviously I sit down and I'm kind of a wreck, I'm sure like she can probably see like the redness in my eyes and whatnot, and I'm assuming she knows that like my son was kidnapped.
I mean, would I?
If it's been 2 days, I assume, yeah. And
I
literally
assume so.
Maya sent someone like on a horse like to go tell. And then Malekith like got the whole royal guard to like
Cyrillus
go after.
went
Yeah,
out.
it was a whole big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's just kind of a wreck. But so she's like kind of like twirling her fingers a little bit, and it's just like, Avra, I have something very important to tell you, and I'm not entirely sure how you're going to take it, but I don't think I can keep lying to you.
I'm trying to get back into Avra headspace and figure out, because like she's had this happen to her before, where she's like, "Oh, I have a sister."
Wait, did you not know Ophelia was your sister until like?
I don't think I knew that she was alive because she had been like banished, right? And so I just kind of assumed that she had died. Like, yeah,
in the woods somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she just kind of nods and she's like, well, thank you for meeting with me then, especially in these circumstances. I sincerely hope that your son can be found and brought back to you.
Well, I'm hoping maybe after what I tell you, maybe you'll help.
I'd love to if I can.
And I think she like gets up and kind of like, dramatically kind of like paces for like a minute, as she's like trying to like figure out like what to say. And she just goes, Avra, I don't know how much you know about me. I mean, other than the fact that I'm Malekith's wife. But and as she's kind of like, giving lots of hand gestures and things like that. And she's just like, just to be frank with you, I'm a bastard child. And she's probably like, why are you saying that? And she's just like, I've grown up my whole life here in Sinia, and I loved this town. I never knew who my dad was until a year ago when my mom, well, she told me finally on her deathbed. Avra, there's a reason, well, that we look similar. And then she like pulls out the ring
You
and
haven't noticed.
Places it in front of her and just says, it's because we're family.
Yeah, I think Evra picks it up and looks at it. And I think she starts crying at first because she's kind of overwhelmed. She's like, how is this happening again? But also like,
is it because the writer got lazy?
But also she's just looking at like the like what is it again? Is it like
it's
a
like
ring?
A ring with like his insignia on it.
Yeah, and I don't think we've actually ever decided what the signet of the house is. Avra, you can make it up if you want. You have the heraldry skill.
Yeah.
Is it like the original? Is it the only house that's allowed to have like an actual like falcon one, or the jungle eagles that they use? Or is it something else?
Yeah.
Is it holding anything?
Yeah, I think it's like the head of a falcon with like a dagger in its mouth.
Yeah.
Very
SPQR there.
What?
Very, very Roman. Have the eagle. Because I think they're more like eagles than actual falcons in this setting. It's like they're like jungle eagles.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she's just looking at the insignia, and then she just kind of starts to remember, like, growing up and her dad not being insane, and like having those memories of being like, he's gone, and like she's kind of grappling with it for the first time that he's gone, and the last things that I remember of him are horrible, kind of a thing. And so she starts crying, and she's also at the same time being like, and now I have a relative that's not Ophelia, that's like not insane.
Well,
hopefully
that you know of.
Listen,
Yeah.
Maya's being played by Alyssa, so no, all bets are off there, I think.
Whoa. But you're not wrong.
Yeah. But I think then she starts having a bit of a coughing fit, and so she just like excuses herself quickly, and she's like, assures her that she'll be back shortly, but she just kind of leaves the room and cries and coughs for a bit.
And then you take the ring and you're like, haha, I'm rich, and you run away.
You're already rich.
I know.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I think Maya's like, oh crap, did I just like totally like blow this?
You've made Avra snap. Finally, completely.
So I think, how long is she gone for?
Probably like 5 minutes. I don't know, not that long.
I don't know. I feel like Maya may like go out to her, like, like towards like the end of like those 5 minutes, and just be like, Avra, like, please say something. I never had a sister before, and I really wanted you to meet your nephew. Obviously, that didn't happen.
Because Alpheus is a traitor. I was like, I'm waiting for it.
Just in the back of her head. I just like to think that like Maya's like always just kind of like mostly calm and composed, but just like always in the back of the head, just like.
I will kill Alpheus.
I feel like once Avra knows that Alpheus is a traitor too, she's gonna like suspect him having something to do with her father's illness, which isn't necessarily true, even though, we do know that he killed him or had him killed, let him be killed rather. But that's going to be interesting. But I think Avra just looks at her and she just hugs her. Aww. And she doesn't really say much because she can't she's just really overwhelmed.
I think Maya's like kind of like taken aback at first, and then she's like, Shh, it's okay, Avra. I'm sorry if I'm overwhelming you. I'm scared. I'm scared of Ophelia, to be frank with you. I'm scared that you won't like me.
Join the club.
I didn't think that you'd want anything to do with me if you didn't know the truth.
Trying to think of what she'd say to that.
She plaques it up with I truly am just a common woman. What would a princess want to do with somebody like me if they didn't know the truth? I don't blame you. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to figure out how to transition into I think maybe she just immediately goes into do you know what happened to him? Do you know why he went insane?
Maya just kind of shakes her head and just says, I didn't even know he was my father until the night he was killed.
Yikes.
And I'm really sorry. I didn't know him. But I do think maybe I know of a way to find that out. You aware, are you familiar with what's it called? The Iriad?
The Irida.
Irida.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Irida?
Make a doctrine test, Avra. That's what that is.
Likely no.
It's an OB1 doctrine test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a chance that you didn't pay attention. But
during this part,
but it is pretty common. Yeah.
Okay. I'd be able to fork anything into that.
I mean, if you had gotten the roll last time that you made, if you had made the same, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anyway. I'm trying to phrase the sentence. If you had gotten that last roll for this, you would still fail. But hopefully you'll at least get one success.
Wow, thanks for the encouragement.
I'm just saying, Sam, what are the chances of it happening again? That's the question we have to ask here.
Well, I don't think she can fork in reading because she's never actually read it.
No, yeah, that's true. I think probably just doctrine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anything else comes into play.
Yay.
You're so good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mark that routine doctrine. Needed that anyway.
Yeah,
Cool.
so she just nods.
I mean, the Irida only the king has access to. Obviously, I guess Ophelia must have it now, but if somebody can interpret that, maybe answers lie in there. I can try to help you, but I didn't know much about him. I only knew what my mom told me about my dad, and they were all very vague statements. Only now do I realize the irony behind a lot of them.
If I could only tell your father about this.
He'd have you beheaded.
Exactly. Exactly.
He wouldn't let you rule. What?
He wouldn't let you use a ruler. Yes, he hates math.
He hates math a lot.
Hates geometry. What are you trying to decide, Carly?
I don't really know where else to go with the conversation.
Right.
Well.
Yeah. So who brought up what about that?
I just said, have you heard of it? Like maybe answers.
Right.
Only the present, prophet king has access to it, but it's something where
Oh yeah, probably what you would say, Carly, is Avra would be like, well, ooh, if Ophelia has the Irida, then she's not going to give it to me because she already told me the gods have decided that you should not know this. So you might say that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she probably says that. I mean, do I know, what does it mean to have access to it?
I mean, basically, it's like the... I'm trying to think of an analogy or a comparison here. It's basically like each prophet king has had this as like the manual for how to rule Sinia, right? For generations upon generations. It's like the ruler's Bible to help them because they look at the prophecies and they're like, okay, well, we're pretty sure this one came true in this year, and so we can ignore that one, but this one seems like it's lining up with what is happening right now, so we should look to do this because of what the prophecy says is going to happen. That's kind of what it's usually been used to do. So yeah, you'd know that.
But do I know where it's specifically kept? If it's guarded or something?
So I mean, honestly, that roll you made was probably a graduated one. And so I think with a 3, yes, I think you would know that. So it was kept in a high tower in the palace. That was only your dad had the key to it. And he went up there every fortnight to, ask the prophecy book, figure out, do auguries, glean what he should do next. So yeah, I mean, you know where the tower is, but you know that you're never supposed to go there. And so you're assuming that Ophelia got the key and got it because that's totally the thing that she would do, but you don't actually know for sure. I mean, Ophelia's been really vague with everything she's been doing. So yeah, but you'd know that at least. You could, I mean, at the very least, you could be like, well, it's kept in this tower. I don't know if it's there right now, but.
Yeah.
Would you relay that to Maya or?
Yeah, probably. Just be like, I don't know if I could get it from Ophelia or get the key. I don't know.
so it's locked away somewhere. So I'm trying to think, because I feel like I need to make some kind of roll here.
Probably.
Like,
Because the issue is you're pressing on something pretty suddenly, right?
Right.
Basically jumping on an opportunity that
Well,
Avra's
she asked
presenting
me.
you. No, I know, yeah, but you also don't want to look too eager, right? Because you're
right.
doing this for your own
Right.
motivations and stuff. So yeah, I mean, let's take a look at what you might be using here to attempt this.
I mean, like, I think I was possibly maybe going to go for like an ugly truth here.
Yeah.
Like, if Ophelia really wants you to rule, which is what she's told the public, she's not secretive about this, then she will let you have access to this book so you are prepared.
Yeah, that seems like an ugly truth to me, right? You could basically be like, hey, I mean, Ophelia, like, has made it very clear that she, like, constantly acquiesces to you in everything. Like, you probably don't even need to tell her what you want it for, right? You should just be like, well, I should have access to this, right? And then just get it from Ophelia. Yeah, that sounds like an ugly truth.
Okay. Can I fork in family-wise?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else I could. What am I? I don't think I could fork in falsehood. I'm not. Huh?
Sorry, I was laughing. No, probably not. I mean, ugly truth and falsehood are basically opposites. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, yeah. True.
Oh, no, apparently not. Apparently, a falsehood is listed as a possible fork for ugly truth. So yeah.
Well, I'm just asking if, like, because I'm not really telling a falsehood. It's just that I'm trying to cover up the fact that, like, I also want
you're
it.
being manipulative. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. I just assumed that Burning Wheel was like would pit them against each other, but they do not. They literally list it as a possible fork. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Anything else you think that could help me here, family secret wise, maybe?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what a weird prophecy book locked in a tower. That's a family secret.
Okay. Court wise?
No, I think that stretches a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, it stretches a little bit. Okay, all right. Well, I got 3 forks.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be my?
Will be her. Oh, wait, I guess it's ugly. Truth.
No, it's ugly truth.
Yeah. Up to.
Oh, sweet. I got this in the bag, I hope. Please don't let this be like Carly's role.
Yeah, this is an ugly truth about family, right? You're making the point that, listen, Ophelia's your sister and she thinks the world of you. Like, you can just ask her this and she'll let you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm so good.
Yes, very good. Very good. Cool. Yep. So 5 is certainly enough. You can mark that routine and ugly truth.
Got it.
So yeah, I mean, Avra, that seems reasonable to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've just spent an afternoon like almost pulling your hair out in frustration over this. So like, if Maya gives you like the secret sauce, you're like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I should say you're probably like, well, because I am not in control of your character's agency. But
For Avra, it's probably more like, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's definitely like a spark of hope in a hopeless situation for her. So
yeah.
I assume. Cool.
Yeah,
I mean, what does the rest of this look like? Like, she's obviously just giving you this tidbit, but like, you're also still like standing in a room together for the first time knowing your sister. So like, I feel like there's like something else,
some kind of conversation
here, right?
that has to happen.
But it's not like you have to play it out. But yeah.
Could I make? I'm assuming that this would be. Hold on. Would it be a noble wise or rule of law roll to make a roll to see if Avra would even think, oh, maybe she's trying to put her nephew on the throne, kind of a thing?
Right.
Like, not that she would necessarily feel threatened by that, but just
understand the implications. Yeah.
Understand the implications of like what I'm saying here.
Yeah. That sounds like It could be. Oh, honestly,
Wouldn't that be rule of law?
yeah, it could be several of these skills, but I think rule of law makes the most sense. But you can definitely fork in, I think,
Right.
several other ones, right?
Okay.
Rule of law, yeah, is probably the role you're making, but I think you can fork in like doctrine, etiquette, heraldry, and noble wise, right?
Okay.
That all
Yeah.
seems to be applicable here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a look at rule of law. See what obs those might be. Yeah, royal law, ob 3.
Okay.
Ooh. Apparently it's not average day. Yeah, I mean you can spend a fate. You have to reroll 1 failure.
I will do that.
Please fail. Please fail.
One die, right?
Yeah, 1 die, 1 remaining ob. Yeah.
Dang.
Yikes.
Yes. That's what I wanted.
No.
Sorry, Carly.
So sad.
Sorry, Carly.
Yeah, Aver will probably figure it out eventually. But yeah, for now she's not
But in this
understanding the
moment.
implications. Yeah. So yeah, mark that routine on real law. Make sure you put that fate on it as well.
Yeah. Good.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So Aver is just kind of like in the dark as of right now, like as to what Maya's true implication or true motivations might be here. So right now, Aver's probably just like, well, Maya just wanted to get in touch with family and like help me out and like be involved in the court. You know, that seems noble.
She's
of her.
definitely going to be less cautious than she would be knowing that implication.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, probably what will end up happening is someone smarter than you will point it out to you later, and you'll be like, "Ooh, I should have thought of that."
Caledon's like,
if Caledon finds out about this, he'll be like, Aphra, have you considered?
So I think this is probably the next part. So I think that I've gained. Am I correct in saying that I probably have gained Avra's favor for the most part? Like that she's like.
That sounds right. Yeah.
At least for now, yeah.
For now, okay.
Could go away, but
you've gained her favor. You may lose her favor later.
Yeah, I may lose it, but I have it. Right? She is friendly towards me as like, yes, you are my sister. I will accept you as such. For
cool.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I feel like I need to make some kind of persuasion roll to make sure that she doesn't tell anybody.
Okay, yeah. So now you have to explain to her. Now, okay, so I know this is great and everything, but also please don't tell anyone else.
And I'm coming at it like
this is going to be the tricky part because the real reason you don't want people to know is because of the implication that Avra hasn't discovered yet. So if you want to dance around that, then that's going to be difficult. But yeah, you could try it.
Well, because what I'm trying to do, right, is I also don't want to. I'm going to come at it as like I don't want Ophelia to find out.
Yes,
like she will kill. She will probably kill me.
Yeah.
Or she could. I don't know. Maybe she won't. But like, I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to endanger my family.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be more difficult to be like you can't even like tell Caledon. Okay, and so I think here's how I'm going to go with it. So I'm like. Avra, listen, I was really nervous to tell you, just, I wasn't sure how you were going to respond. And I'm glad that, I don't know, that maybe we can start a relationship now. But I'm also very fearful for, obviously, about Ophelia. And, this is why my son was stolen from me. We trusted Alpheus. Told him the truth, and he got our son kidnapped. He told this man, I don't know, I didn't get his name, I don't think. This man from Kyrides, right? Caleb? Yeah. And he came and kidnapped our son. And I don't even know if I don't trust anybody else with this secret right now. I just want my son back, please. But I can't risk Malekith either at this point. So please, it's not that I've only met Caledon once. I know you trust him, but I don't know if I can, and she's like, just like trying to like also like play up that she's like having a hard time like kind of breathing kind of a thing. Like,
I mean, you probably are emotional, so there's some of this that I think
am.
isn't faked, but you're also an actor and you're probably embellishing it. Yeah.
Of course. So, just like I can't, I just can't lose another person. So please, like, I'm just begging you, please don't tell anybody else.
Still with the bad rolls that I made for rule of law, I still wouldn't make any connection with her saying, this is why my son was kidnapped.
Well, what did she just say there as to why?
I said, like, we told Alpheus the truth that, like, that I'm the king's daughter. He went to...
Yeah, I get what you're saying, though, Carls.
What if I go at it at, like, and, like, kind of add in, like, we told Alpheus because we know that he's close with you, and I wanted to try to get an in kind of a thing, kind of, like, skirt around that. I don't know. But I get what she's saying. It's like implied.
Mainly because it's like, well, why is he important is the big thing there, right?
Right. Because like, I'm fine with Avra just completely being overwhelmed in this situation and not because of that horrible roll that she made, not even thinking anything of it. But I was just curious.
She'd probably make the connection if you brought up that situation. I honestly think it's enough, Maya, that you even just say, I'm worried that Ophelia will try to hurt me or my family. Like, I don't even think you need to, like, you could mention that my son was kidnapped, but if you go any further into it, even mentioning it at all, probably.
Yeah, but I'm also trying to persuade her that to like help me get my son back, like, I don't know if I can do that without telling her why he was kidnapped in the first place.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the tactic to take here, if Maya is going to reveal that, is to be honest with Avra and not try to hope that she won't get the implication, is to be more upfront with it. Right? Because otherwise...
I'm trying to make him the king?
Otherwise, Avra will find out about it and then think poorly of you because you didn't tell her.
Right.
Right? That's the issue here.
I know, but I was going to go for an ugly truth later about that.
And you could try to fix it later. That's fine. Right? The issue is if you aren't clear with her now about it, then that's going to be bad later for you.
I just don't even know how she'd take that now. Like the fact that like I'm like, by the way, move aside. No, just,
yeah,
that's not even what she wanted to do originally.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, okay.
I mean, you could try to play off the kidnapping as if it's different, as if it's like unrelated.
I have no clue. Why would they want to kidnap
because it's
a little
Malekith's
12-year-old?
And Malekith is the one like in charge of the kingdom's finances right now?
I guess. Like, do people really know Malekith like that well in the kingdom?
I mean, they don't know. They don't know him that well, but...
Well, I guess I could say
that they kidnapped Malekith's son in order to get something out of him.
Right. Yeah.
Which isn't entirely false.
I mean, yeah, Malekith's like Malekith is in the world of like politicians and stuff. So if you went for the angle of like he was trying to bribe or blackmail or whatever, right, extort us because of Malekith's position, you could try to imply it that way. And I think if you did that, ever wouldn't, because of your failed roll, wouldn't get the implication then.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll go for that because I don't know that I'm ready to tell her.
Again, the issue is once she does find out, it's going to be even worse than, like there's just a level of if you're being like deceitful here, it's going to make it worse when Avra actually does find out what the truth is. So it's just what risk you want to take. Probably.
I mean,
I'm giving her a solution. Her fiance does not want to be king.
It's true.
I am essentially giving her a solution here.
It would make Avra more suspicious of her later on.
Yeah.
And less willing to trust her on everything if she finds out that you're trying to do something behind her back rather than just
right.
outright.
It's just that I feel like at this moment, Maya wouldn't think that way though, because she's like, I'm fine. I agree. I got her to agree to like get the book, like, and maybe we'll look at this together, and like that's gonna be my next that's where I'm at right now. So I feel like Maya's more like in this moment, I just have to like.
I mean, let's be clear. Maya's priorities are not to get a new sister. Her priorities are to get her son on the throne. So
I mean, it's
she's
both.
acting in accordance, right? But which one is your priority?
Oh, the priority is my son. 100%.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not that Maya doesn't like Avra or hates Avra or wants to make her life miserable. She's just like, my priority is my son. So taking actions in accordance with that, makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So would that just be persuasion?
That seems like persuasion, right? Because it's like it's in your own best interest to not tell Ophelia because, hey, you gained a new sister. She's going to kill me if she finds out. Also, could you help me with stuff because I'm your sister and you like me, right? Persuasion. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's don't tell anyone really.
Right,
I think that's the hard part. Okay. So persuasion.
Yeah, family-wise. Family secret-wise, I mean.
Falsehood, because I kind of skirted around the issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Drama-wise.
Yes.
We
already said acting because you're playing up the emotions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's 5 works. Okay, I think that's plenty.
Probably. I mean, with
maybe court-wise. Because I'm playing into like
with the politician stuff
politician stuff. Okay.
So Ob is 5 because of her will.
Okay. I feel pretty good. I'm rolling 11 dice against her.
Well, with a dice pool, there's always a chance that something.
It's always a chance.
Wrong. Yep.
Oh man. Okay.
Close though. You got
I'll spend
6.
I'll spend 2 fate.
Yeah.
I care a lot about this. So
yes.
Okay. Remaining Ob 1. Dice 2. Please, Dragonborn Jesus. I rolled 11.
I love how that's just a thing that is in our RPGs now.
Oh my gosh.
No. Hey, you only rolled 1 fate. No, you did.
No, I didn't.
2. Yeah.
No,
for whatever reason, it says fate -1 always, and that always throws me off because I assume it's like 1 dice.
Gosh dang it. Wow. I rolled 13 dice.
Yeah.
13.
Only got a 4.
Wow. That was a routine persuasion test, which I don't need.
Do you? Oh, wait a second. Do you have a?
No, that's only for falsehood, soothing platitudes, and seduction.
Yep. Yikes.
Okay. I worked in falsehood, but so basically, I did not persuade her to not tell anyone.
Yeah, which I think honestly, because she wouldn't just go shouting it from the rooftops. I honestly think it just means she probably tells
Caledon.
Yeah.
Possibly a couple other people, depending on,
whoever she decides needs to know because of her own things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does she say in response?
Yeah, that's the question, right?
Well, yeah.
Do you try? Do you just like because you're gonna have to roll the lie to her if you try to be like, yes, of course, I won't tell anyone. Ever could try to.
I don't even have falsehood.
I was gonna say Avra could try to do try to angle it with soothing platitudes here. And be like, so I don't want to make you angry or afraid, but I need to tell Caledon. This is important.
I think she goes at it with the angle of Caledon is not only my fiance, and someone that I hope will someday rule the kingdom with me, but he's also basically kind of her advisor at this point because he helps her with pretty much any political situation kind of a deal. And she adds in the fact of I promise I won't tell Ophelia, if that's your big concern, and I won't go shouting it from the rooftops kind of a thing. There are just certain people that do need to know, because I know they now need to know kind of a thing.
Is that a soothing platitudes roll that she can make, Maya?
And
the main goal of it, right, because it would be soothing platitudes, would be to make you not angry or blow
Right.
up at this. But even if Maya doesn't agree with it, like she won't like freak out on Avra over it.
Right, kind of a thing. Yeah. I think it's a rule she can make if she promises to only tell Celadon. I think that would be the thing.
So Maya's counterpoint would then be, so like I appreciate that you're not going to shout from the rooftops, but you can only tell Celadon.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she'd be fine
that's. Yeah, I think that's the only way that she could make this rule.
Mhm.
Is that okay with Avra?
Yeah.
Yeah. Soothing platitudes. You can fork a
My app
noble
is
wise.
6.
The ob is 6.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot.
luck.
Yeah. Do you have any other arguments for a fork there?
I mean, can I fork in romance-wise to be like, look, he's my fiance. I can't keep it this big of a secret from him.
I gotta tell him.
No marriage can start on lies.
Exactly. Yeah. That
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
Just to be frank with you, Carly, I do want you to succeed on this one. I don't want my character to be mad at you for telling Celadon.
Well, do you think would Maya be more amenable to this? Could she get just an advantage die for the situation? Just like 1? Or is 6 a good op for it in terms of head difficulty?
I'm debating because it's like if she does tell Celadon, I think Avra's gonna. But he's also away.
That's the
so
point,
it's like
right? Yeah,
it's like he's not even gonna be back until like
weeks,
this thing
so,
is gonna be. Yeah, so it's like by then more people probably know anyways. Yeah, I think she could get a +1 to this. Yeah,
so another advantage die. Yeah.
Because she agreed to only say to say just Celadon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
Sure.
Okay.
Oof.
Yikes. You got a 6. You take the long odds and spend like 2 fate and try to like get some good rolls in, but
I will do that.
yeah, I mean you got a lot of fate, so
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to put 2 more fate in my persuasion. I've put a lot of fate in persuasion already.
Mm-hmm. If you put fate, persona, and deeds in it, you could shade shift it.
Dang.
Oof. Yeah. So see, here's the thing. I don't think Maya is gonna freak out.
Yeah.
I think she's just maybe gonna say something a lot like maybe guilt trip her a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
I trusted you. I'm your sister. I laid my heart out to you.
No, not quite that dramatic.
Yeah.
And more subtle than that. I think like if maybe like she's like holding her hand or something like that, or like doing something, like I think she'll just like kind of like brush her off and then like wipe off like a tear and just say, I understand you need to tell Celadon, but I'm not gonna lie, I was just betrayed by somebody I trusted, and I don't know if my heart can take that again. If that were to happen. And that's all. She's just gonna leave that hanging. Yeah. I mean,
is that just where the scene ends, I assume?
I guess so. I don't know if there's anything she can do to help me get my son back, but
probably not currently, no.
Yeah.
Honestly, the thing probably that might end up happening here is Avra tells Celadon, and if Maya wants to, ask about this later and be like, Avra, can you think of any way that you could help? And then, I mean, Celadon's going to be coming back that way anyway when he comes back to Sinia from where he's going to be. Celadon might just go to Kyrides, right? Hire some mercenaries, try to help with that.
Now, how does Avra respond to me like making accusations about Alpheus though?
That's okay. I wrote a note about that because she would definitely take note of that mentally.
But maybe
I just don't
like maybe not say anything to me, but I'm just curious.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of if she would like roll something. I don't know. because she would obviously be caught off guard because she'd be like, Alpheus has been, loyal to me and Celadon and everything. And,
and a good friend to Malekith, because she would know that too. But
yeah. I think that might have been what went into her not quite being persuaded too, is just thrown off by that and being like, I don't know if that's just an accusation or like,
right. Maybe you think, well, she believes that, but that's not necessarily kind of like Malekith, right? Where she
probably doesn't immediately think, oh, then Alpheus betrayed us, kind of a thing.
Right.
She probably, her immediate thought is, oh, she thinks Alpheus betrayed her. And she'll have to just look into that more. But yeah. Is there any kind of role that I could make to like after the fact to to like think through all of the things that like Alpheus has done and try to think of anything that would have been like
suspicious,
try to connect the dots kind of a thing.
Do some deduction here
to see if she would even be suspicious that Maya's right in the first place, or if she would just completely brush it off as like just an accusation.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel like it's like Avra can make whatever conclusions she wants, and I don't know if there's a role involved.
Right. Okay.
The only thing I can think of is if you actually were to make an investigation into the clues, you could find out something that would like sway your opinion either way. But as of right now, I mean, maybe Avra leaps to a conclusion that is correct. Maybe she doesn't. It's up to her.
Right.
Yeah, she wouldn't be making a role, really, I don't think.
Yeah, so I think where she's at right now is like her first reaction is just to brush it off as just an accusation because she's extremely emotional and wants someone to blame for what's happened.
Yeah, you knew Alpheus was like connected with Malekith, so
yeah,
it at least makes sense that Maya would blame him. He's a person that's close to that situation, so it makes like it's not like out of the blue. Even though it's shocking, but
I think maybe later she will look into that.
Look into it further. More. Yeah, I mean, if Avra ever figures out that Alpheus ordered the death of, basically more functionally allowed the death of her father.
Yeah,
Maya and Avra going after Alpheus together.
Yeah, and then Cyrillus hates everyone, so you'll get him on board too.
Yeah. There you go.
Kill Alpheus? Okay, sure, I hate him.
But yeah, do I get a letter back from Celadon?
No, I mean, it's, again, like, he only headed out, like, a couple of days before last session, and it takes a while to get there.
Would he have sent her a letter ahead of time? Like, maybe he didn't get hers yet, but...
Probably not. I mean, again, like, I don't think a whole lot of time has passed here at all.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like maybe a matter of 4 days at most. So maybe like there's a letter on the way, but I don't think it's arrived yet. So
okay.
Yup. Because that's the thing. Like he might send a letter back, but again, it's going to be pretty simple. Like, so the weather was nice today, right? Like he has nothing important to tell you.
It would be a response to the one that I sent him, where I was
no, right? But that's what I'm saying. What I was going to say is he might send you a letter like in a port that he stopped at, but you're sending the letter to Nema because that's where he's going to be. You don't know, and so he has to actually get there before he'll even receive it, even if the ship got there before he does. So yeah, it's just not in the cards yet that he would even see it.
So you might get a letter from him, but it's not in response.
It's not in response, and so it doesn't really matter, right?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Probably next session you'll get a response back.
Okay. Because I was going to say if she got a letter back from him, then she'd write him back and tell him of the whole situation.
I mean, you could just do that now, right? Like you could still, just because that means he'll learn of it sooner. But
yeah, I guess so.
And then you can make the roll, right? I don't want you to try to jip you out of working on the belief, so.
Okay, I'll do that.
Cool, yeah. So, I mean, what are you trying to exactly say? Because if you're making a roll to, like, persuade him any particular way or like present the information in any particular way. I guess it depends on what your intent is.
I mean, she tells him that she has another sister.
Right.
So you met Maya, apparently. Yeah, my sister.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, oh,
she like explains the whole situation of like her son's kidnapped, and I guess she probably offhandedly throws in the mention of like, you know, she thinks that Alpheus betrayed them, kind of a thing. And just kind of includes all of the details that she thinks might be important.
Right. So what do you want him to do in response to the information? Do you want him to think a certain way about it, or are you looking for his thoughts on it?
I think she's probably mainly looking for his thoughts, because that's kind of her default mode with him anyway. Other than with specific things.
Okay, so honestly, I think the only roll here is going to just be a right roll, because it's basically just how well do you give him all the pieces that he needs to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
In the letter. So let's take a look at. Right, you made a right roll last time. Oh, did you advance it last time? No,
I don't think so. I currently don't have any bubbles marked.
That's what I'm wondering though, because you definitely made a right roll last time. So
yeah, I must have just forgotten to put it.
Let me scroll up. I'll see what it was.
Yeah, I'm doing that too.
Right. It was a challenging test.
Oh, okay. There you go.
On your right. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at obs.
How is that a challenging? It was only an ob 3.
Well, she has a 2 in it, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she just opened the skill. She didn't put anything into it, so.
Got it.
Right, here you go. Yeah, composing a letter is ob 3. So I think it's just that again.
Okay.
Yep.
There's really not much I can fork into this.
Not really. Yeah, I think it's just plain roll. I'll give you oratory as a fork. Right, you're used to writing speeches, right? You're used to laying out points of information in a way that will at least move an audience, if not inform them. So, I think some of that can transfer to this. I'll be kind.
If only to write an informative essay.
Oh,
right,
generous
exactly.
DM. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically exactly what you're doing right now. You're writing an informative essay.
Okay. And base ob is 3.
Yeah.
Dang.
No 6s, but you could spend a fate. 1 in 12 chance.
Sure.
Yeah, you have 6 still, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, issue is you didn't actually need a difficult, you need routine at this point, so.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
Yikes. You at least got one.
So then what does that mean then if she failed this roll? Does he not?
So he'll get the information, but he doesn't draw any informative conclusions from it. Right. So he probably doesn't make the implication about Maya, your son.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Even if he thinks that, like, well, yeah, I mean, that's technically how it would go. I could say, yeah, maybe Ivor doesn't inform her of the age of the son. Or sorry, the age of your age in comparison to that, because you're like the oldest too. So that.
Oh, right. Maybe he doesn't.
There's details that he's just not getting to that would lead him to make the conclusion faster.
I mean, he met her, right?
He did, but again, I don't think Maya didn't leave a huge impression on him. So I think he's getting left out. There are important details being left out that Avra doesn't realize are important details. And so he doesn't make the conclusion that Maya is trying to put his son or her son on the throne. He probably doesn't think Alpheus is a danger. Even if you mention it, she brushes it off too. And I feel like there's like one other thing that he misses. What else did you write him in there? Those the main things.
About the how about the Irida?
Oh yeah, did you write him about that?
I don't know if she would mention it at this point, just because
I don't think he'd have any thoughts on it anyway. Yeah.
So
the only other thing I guess would be the kidnapping of the son that you mentioned. In which case, I guess he just believes the story that it would be done for political reasons because of Malekith, right? He doesn't put the connections together there. So he gets the information. He just can draw. So when he writes back and like gives you some advice as to what to do next, he's not going to lead you in the right direction, right? He'll just be like, yeah, sounds like you can brush off the Alpheus thing. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh, got kidnapped, and then oh, you have a sister. That's cool, right? Like he's not going to give you anything of like actual robustness. So yeah. Cool. So, how about we go ahead and take a break, and hopefully Chad will jump on, and then we'll see what Alpheus has been up to. If not, if you're watching this on YouTube and this is the only video that's up there, know that Chad didn't arrive in time and we just ended. So, we may be back after this.